Step 2 in this process is, I think, an often overlooked important factor in determining outcome. And if you read it, it says something like this: if I had that, if I could become that person, if I could do that thing that I've never done before, how would that make me feel? So step 2 is really all about feeling. So whatever you write down, if I did that, how would that make me feel? And I'm not looking for an answer like, well, that would feel great. That would feel wonderful. That would feel awesome. That would feel super. It's not really what I'm looking for. What I'm looking for is project yourself into the moment of arrival. Try to picture yourself at the realization of your goal and the destination. Put yourself there. Make a mental picture of it. What does your day look like now? What does your environment look like now? Has your financial situation changed? And if so, what different decisions would you start to make? What other choices would you have? Let's take, and again, I often share my own personal and professional strengths and weaknesses with you. But I like to anticipate that's ambitious. When we put on the wall, and Nancy and I unpacked our training ideas for this particular year and coming years, because we've gotten a little bit off track as far as helping people is concerned. We've been doing really, really great work with companies. They love working with us, and we love working with them. And we're making great progress. In fact, I can give you several examples where there's a solid measuring stick for progress. With this company versus that company, they have very different goals. One of them is just flat out, we want to do 23% more revenue. Like, okay, let's do 23% more revenue, and that's how I help them. I don't just come up with the idea, I actually unfold a plan over the next 12 months to create 23%, and we get together for an entire 3 days, and we unpack, based on very specific processes, how we're going to do that 23%, because people just throw out random numbers. Maybe it was a random number when they came up with it, but I don't like random. I like, how are we going to do that? And so we figure out a plan to do that. By the way, that goal was set in January. We've exceeded 23% every single month so far this year. Every single month. Now, you think to yourself, well, that's good for you, but they must have done a lot of the work. Of course they did a lot of work. We just came up with the plan to help them do that, and I'm working with them every month. We get on the phone, or online. I like online meetings because I can record them and then give them to my team. But they're very specific marketing and sales and fulfillment goals that we think we can do. But when I did that with their team, each person had to know, well, if we achieve that, what's in it for me? How am I going to feel differently if we do those things? And so that we had to think about, because I'm sure you have enough common sense to know that not everybody's going to help you do 23% if there's nothing in it for them. So it's very important that people are intrinsically motivated. The answer to this question is not a word like great. It's, if I were that, if I could become that, if I could do that, if I could have that, and I could reach that destination, and now I'm there, what does my world look like? And I think that's what people miss, because they don't know. You don't know what $100,000 a month can do. I do. I do know. It's not every month, but I do know what it means. And I'm not saying that to impress you. I'm just saying I make different choices. I have opportunity. I have things that I can do with that I couldn't do before. I had to anticipate those things. One of the things you don't realize in this puzzle that we're putting together on getting ready for this journey that we're about to take, we're still getting ready, by the way. A lot of you think, oh, I thought we were already on it. No, we're still getting ready. Because we haven't taken one step towards this goal. We will. There's going to be unfolding things to do. During the getting ready process, most of us really don't have any idea what our lives are going to look like if that actually happened. And I think that's where people go wrong. Wrong. I don't think there's wrong. I think that's where people lose their way. I'm lost. I don't know what to do now. That's kind of why I'm here, and that's kind of why I'd like you to stick around with me for the next 12 months, because I've been through this, and I know what it means to be lost on that journey. In fact, on the Camino de Santiago, I got lost 7 times. Some of them for several hours, which, when you go the wrong way for 5 hours, you got to walk 5 hours or 4 hours back and find the path that way, because there's no, GPS now it's a lot easier than it was. In 2004, I didn't have that. There was no GPS. I didn't know. And the road is not marked well, and I got lost. I've gotten lost on my business journey. I've gotten lost on my personal and professional journey. So once you project yourself into that thing that you want to do, be, or have, what does that actually look like? And what does that feel like? And what I'm looking for is a description of that. I'm sitting in business class, having champagne. It's a 3-hour flight. When I land, I'm being picked up by limousine. I'm arriving at the event. There's 1,200 people who are very excited to see me and my team. I get taken to the green room where I can have some salad and nice hors d'oeuvres would be nice. Bottle of wine would be cool. And what I'm doing is I'm telling you what things feel like. You have to be able to picture what that looks like. At least visualize it, because the more you visualize it, the more you will believe it, and the more you can hold that focus and attention on what it is you want to do, on what your life would look like if you were there. That's what creates the enthusiasm to go after it. Just one small word about, because I know that many of your goals have to do with finance. I just want to talk very quickly about the concept of money, and this is the way that I look at money. Money in and of itself, in the bank, for the most part, or lying around the house, is not useful. In future courses, we'll get more into detail about this, but the flow of money through you and into the hands of other people who provide service and value is the role of money. Money in and of itself is just a medium of exchange to get what you want. So don't say, oh, I have $100,000 now, I feel great. I don't think that's the way to look at it. I think what you could say is, if I could create that steady maximum flow of currency into and out of my life, I could inspire and help and motivate and prop up other businesses because that money's flowing through me instead of coming to me and stopping dead. I think that's what many people miss about the whole concept of affluence. The concept of generosity, the ability to pick up the check whenever and wherever you feel like, and not have to think about, oh God, I hope they reciprocate. I never think like that. I used to, but I don't think like that anymore. So I hope that makes sense. Now,